AI is the engine and data is its fuel.
So, Bruno, your company's major argument is that most companies don't actually understand the data that they're scaling AI on. Why is that such a problem, and how do you fix it?
That's a great question. Enterprises are replatforming on AI, just like they replatformed on the cloud, on smartphone, on the internet before that. AI is the engine and data is its fuel. It's only as useful as the quality data that you give it. The challenge with AI is that if you don't know what your AI systems are accessing, what they're doing with it, you could create risk. And that risk is very important right now because AI systems are autonomous, they run at machine speed, and they are non-deterministic. So you can't predict what they do. So if you unleash that type of technology on top of enterprise data, which you need to in order for it to return value, you create risk without knowing what they're accessing.
You're creating these risks without knowing, but how does a company stay in control of their data without effectively slowing themselves down in this really cutthroat race?
The technologies they've been using for data access governance and data security don't work in the age of AI. And they don't work primarily because we have never had an autonomous governance capability. Governance was always manual. Policies were always aspirational. They were written in English language in documents. We were controlling data access through gates, basically reviews and things like that. And that doesn't work with autonomous systems like AI, right? And so the challenge there is we need to turn these technologies that were usually manual into automated processes that turn policies into guardrails rather than gates.
Bedrock actually is able to go through petabytes worth of data without it ever actually leaving. There's a lot of companies who don't actually understand how sensitive the data that they're allowing flow through their AI tools. How is it possible to miss how sensitive that is? And what's the solution for that?
Data is really hard. Data is unlike anything in the enterprise, right? Data is the core crown jewel of every enterprise. It's its proprietary advantage. Data is different than assets and infrastructure because it's fluid, it's exponential, it's unstructured. Understanding data at its core requires a system that thinks like a human. And so now we have AI that can autonomously find data and look into data and actually discern what's in this data. Who owns it? Is it sensitive? Does it have PII? How it got there? What is its lineage? These are the things that are essential to understand before data can be accessed safely by systems that are not human.
So what does a strong AI foundation actually look like in 2026?
It begins with the ground truth of all enterprise data assets. And that means you have to build the full enterprise data context. You have to understand all of your data stores, data repositories, structured, unstructured, semi-structured, on-prem, in the cloud, in SaaS, understand what data exists, how it's governed, where it lives, how it moves. It has to be built into a system of record that sits in the data supply chain, meaning it sits between your data producers and data consumers, things like humans, AI systems, technologies. And that data context engine has to ultimately provide that data risk context downstream to every tool that touches data so that they can be governed autonomously, right? AI system touches the data store. It needs to be able to understand what's in the data and whether it's supposed to and allowed to provide that data to the people on whose behalf it operates.
Thank you so much, Bruno.
You're welcome.